Ever since I first watched the original Cloverfield quote unquote trilogy, I've been completely fascinated in the cinematic universe because it's honestly really not a cinematic universe. Three movies have the Cloverfield name in the title, and you could argue for and against many movies being a part of this universe, but I think there's five definitively. Those being obviously the three with Cloverfield in the title, plus Overlord and the newly released The End of Oak Street. So while these movies couldn't be more different on a structural level, they're all pretty close in terms of quality, that being all pretty good. So let's start off with number five. Coming in last place is definitely the flimsiest inclusion on this list, the one that many people could argue for or against more than the rest, which is Overlord. I really, really liked it on first watch, but rewatching it for this video, I can't say it hits the same. It's definitely a cool concept. What if zombies were in World War II? But also, I don't think they did that concept justice. For a while, it's just a really solid war movie, but then they get to Chloe's house and it slows so much it's almost jarring, and it takes way too long to get back into the next advancement in the plot, which is the actual zombie stuff. And said zombie stuff is, I guess, good, but again, really isn't fleshed out. Going through the lab and seeing all the dismembered people was really interesting, not something I can say I've seen in a zombie movie before, but that's the extent of the cool zombie stuff. It's a relatively confused movie that finds its footing once in a while and soars when it does, but only in fleeting moments. As for how it's connected to the Cloverfield universe, it'll take a minute to explain, so I'll probably make another video about explaining the whole timeline. Number 4. For whatever reason, people love to hate on Cloverfield Paradox, and while I do see a lot of flaws, I don't get the insane hate. This movie is still really good. It has a really good setup, it presents an interesting issue, shows the points of view on how people work to solve the issue as well as regular people are affected by it, and then spends the rest of the movie working to solve it. It's a basic setup, but it does well using it. There's a great fear of the unknown aspect as all the random anomalies occur in space and the monster lurks in the shadows of Earth. I do think that Elizabeth Debicki is really bad in this role, and Chris O'Dowd is the only person giving a comedic performance. Plus, it feels like the character motivations change way too often, but damn it, I can't help but grin from ear to ear when the Cloverfield monster shows up at the end. I remember watching this for the first time. I watched like 12 lore videos after to try and figure out how it's connected, and yet I still never got a real definitive answer. I think that's what makes the cinematic universe so special, because you'll be hard pressed to find anything like it. Number 3. Typically, most people rank 10 Cloverfield Lane as the best one, and while I don't quite agree with that, it's still really good. It's impressive how tense and thrilling they made a movie that takes place in one underground bunker. It's not the best one location movie. I think The Invite kind of surpassed it this year, but it is probably number 2. I really like how, despite the mystery elements, it's really carried by its script and performances. John Goodman and Mary Elizabeth Winstead are really good as the leads, but I also like John Gallagher Jr. Every time I watch this movie, I'm surprised by his performance because I'm not too familiar with him otherwise. A cool fact I like about this movie that most people don't know, but Damien Chazelle co-wrote the script in between making Whiplash and La La Land, which could not be more different from those movies. And also, this is directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who basically runs the Predator franchise now. Oh, and also Bradley Cooper voices Mary Elizabeth Winstead's boyfriend in the short phone call at the beginning. The aliens that appear at the end are really unique, and I know it'll never happen, but I'd like to see a sequel or even another movie that takes place during the events of this one showing how or why the alien invasion started. You never get a clear view of the alien, so after the movie, I looked it up, and they kind of look like lobsters mixed with worms mixed with the original Cloverfield monster. So I guess that would be the through line to how it ties into the greater Cloververse. Number 2. I'm really happy to say that the newest entry to the Cloverfield universe, The End of Oak Street, is the runner-up in this ranking. Oh my god, I loved it. I remember last summer when I first discovered this movie on the most anticipated movies Letterboxd section, back when it was called Flowervale Street, and I was really excited because, based on the description and videos I saw, a time travel sci-fi dinosaur movie sounded right up my alley. Plus, all the theorizing on whether or not it was a Cloverfield movie, and Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway meant this would almost certainly be a smash hit. And of course, based on this ranking, it was. But people still aren't really sure if it's a Cloverfield movie or not. I'll explain it in another video I have planned based on Cloverfield, but for now, I just want to talk about the movie itself. Sci-fi horror is one subgenre I've always thought is so underexplored because very few people dare to attempt horror movies based on like aliens or space or dinosaurs, and the sci-fi horror mixed with action and even comedy in this movie works so well. A couple of the jump scares actually got me, and one scene that had my heart racing was when the giant eel snuck into their house. Having a scene that takes place during the daytime be scary is very hard to do, so props to this movie for that. For the comedy, I laughed out loud at the neighbor blaming Anne Hathaway for putting the giant pile of poop on his lawn, and a couple other jokes like Ewan McGregor taking a picture in front of the dinosaur cracking I found really funny. As for Ewan McGregor and Anne Hathaway, I thought both of them were really great, especially Anne Hathaway because she's the best. I've seen all 4 movies of hers in theaters this year, and I plan on making it 5. Normally, when a movie like this that's relatively shorter takes a while to start, I don't like it. But the two lead performances and characters are so good that I really like the rather uneventful first 20 minutes or so. It might be a weird pick, but my favorite scene in the movie is when Anne Hathaway is about to get eaten by the dinosaur, and Ewan McGregor saves her, only to get his leg bitten off before getting fully eaten. Not only is it awesome because of him being cool and heroic, but also because this is not the type of movie I'd expect to have a main character death, and the death scene was awesome and made my jaw drop. Obviously, if you've seen the movie, he comes back, but I don't think it diminishes the scene at all because it's an alternate version or past version of him. Also, I thought all the scientifically accurate dinosaurs looked cool because we don't see those in movies ever. Unfortunately, this movie isn't getting the love it deserves, but I really hope it gets an Oscar nomination for Best Visual Effects. The sci-fi concepts are unique with the time-traveling anomalies, and those making it slot in perfectly to the Cloverfield universe. I thought the epilogue wrapped things up perfectly. It's nice to see the inverse of what happened for the majority of the movie, and nice that Hathaway's character got to write her book. Ultimately, I kind of knew I would like this movie, but I'm still super happy I did as much as I did, and so far it's easily in my personal top 10 of the year. Number 1. My entire life I loved movies, but it wasn't until a few years ago when I really started loving movies. Around that time a few years ago, me and my brother would ride our bikes to Rite Aid every weekend to get food, but after a while it began to close down and everything was going on sale. The last time we ever went to that Rite Aid, they had a bin of DVDs on sale for $1 each. I dug through the bin for a little and decided to get Cloverfield, the Case File edition. After my first time watching it, it instantly became one of my all-time favorites. I had to go watch it with my brother and then a little later with my other brother. To this day, I credit the original Cloverfield with getting me into film. This was the first time I watched a movie and it made me realize that I didn't know movies could get this good. One thing I often like in horror movies is fear of the unknown. While I wasn't really scared of those movies on rewatch, movies this year like Obsession and Backrooms really scared me on first watch because I didn't know what to expect. This movie is completely terrifying because even in the marketing and trailers, you had no idea what was happening. This movie is only 85 minutes, but it's paced perfectly with how it reveals the monster. Nothing could ever beat that first watch, but also I could never get sick of rewatches. Still, to this day, the greatest found footage movie of all time, and it shouldn't be debatable. This was a shorter ranking, but it's still a franchise that means a lot to me, mostly the first movie. I know it's been a while since I put out a full-length video, but I've been pretty busy and I'm working on a bunch more, so stay tuned for that, and if you have any requests for rankings in the future, please let me know.